Okay, maybe I'll start with short 5 minute kirtan. In the meantime, more devotees can join.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandot Pranam, Jai Shri Ram.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dhanwad Pranam.
Dandavat. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरू श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चना गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। जयतो शिलतो पङ्गो मम मन्दामतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वापदाम्भोजो राधा मदनमोहनो दिव्यावृन्दारण्या कल्पद्रुमादा श्रीमद्रत्नागरा सिंहासनस्थो श्रीमती राधा शीलगोविन्ददेवो पृष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमन् रसरसारम्भी वंशी वटतटस्थितः कर्षणवेणुस्वने गोपीनाथा श्रीयैष्णवः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। Okay, we will start with Anartha series of pride. Arrogance, pride due to externals. What is pride? Pride manifests as an inflated, overly exalted conception of oneself. When we think of oneself as somebody more than who we are, that is called pride. In Bhagavad Gita 16.4, Krishna describes two kinds of pride under demoniac qualities. Those who remember the name of 16th chapter is divine and demoniac. and he describes 6 demoniac qualities in the fourth verse. Two of them are Darpa and Damba. Darpa is pride due to wealth, education, position, etc. Dambha means to show oneself as religious even one has a sinful nature. Like when we try to show ourselves as more spiritual than who we are, that is Dambha, right? Okay. जन्मैश्वर्य श्रुतश्रीभिः एदमानामदापुमान् नैवार्हति अभिधातुं वै त्वम् अकिञ्चन गोचरम् त्वम् अकिञ्चन गोचरम् जन्मैश्वर्य श्रुत श्रीभिः My Lord, this is Kunti Devi praying to Lord Krishna. The particular instance where Krishna came from Dwarka to Hastinapur. He helped Pandavas with the Mahabharat war, became the chariot driver of Arjuna, and after that, Krishna went with Pandavas to Bhishma Pitama. Bhishma Dev left the body, being a devotee of Krishna, left the body while looking at the beautiful face of Krishna, and went back to Vaikuntha planets. And then Krishna was about to leave, and that time all the residents they came to see of Krishna as Krishna was leaving from Hastinapur and going back to Dwarka. Devotees were feeling intense separation that Krishna is going now. So there, Kunti Devi, she is the mother of Pandavas. um, she came to Krishna and she started glorifying Krishna and started offering beautiful prayers to Krishna. This comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 8th chapter, prayers by Queen Kunti. So one of the prayers that Kunti Devi prayed is Janma Aishwarya Shruti Shribhi. Janma means high birth. Aishwarya is wealth. Wealth. Um, and then Shruta. Shruta is high education. Shruta. And Shribhi means uh, bodily beauty or very beautiful. Janmaishwarya Shruti Shribhi Edamana Madapuman. So the effect of beauty, um, high knowledge, opulence like wealth, and birth, their effect is they have a tendency to make us mad. So that is called Madhapuma. So, uh, okay. Um, I'm reading the translation. My lord, your lordship can easily be approached, but only those who are materially exhausted. Krishna cannot be approached by those who think themselves as somebody, who thinks themselves, who are proud of themselves. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feelings. So, Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. Akinchana means one who thinks that he has no possession, one who is materially exhausted. Because when we have um, lot of wealth, then we may feel like we will feel like, oh, I am a wealthy man. So that pride is there. Or someone who looks very beautiful, they will feel like, oh, I am very beautiful, I am very good looking. So that pride will be there. Likewise, I have such a high birth, that pride will be there. So these are called as disqualification. Now, not that there is problem with these things. These things can be used in Krishna service, but there is a natural tendency of these things can make us proud. Okay. Pride due to wealth, position, and parentage. So this is a particular instance. The story is many of you have heard about Maharaj Bharat, who was attracted to a deer, and then um, because he he became attached to the deer, his attachment to Krishna became weak, and he contemplated on deer more and more, and his attachment further grew to such an extent that one day when he could not see the deer, he was looking for the deer, could not find, and he fell from the cliff, and while thinking of a deer left his body and became a deer in the next life. But because whatever spiritual advancement one makes in this life is never lost, in the next life as a deer he would perform austerities by eating only dry leaves, um, and he would come and hear Shrimad Bhagavatam in the assembly of devotees. And he remembered his past life as the king of the entire world. And being king of the entire world, he wanted to become Krishna conscious. So, at a stage of Vanaprastha, at a later stage in life, in order to facilitate going back home, back to Godhead, he left everything, left all his attachment to the kingdom, to the family, to the wealth, to the opulence, to the high birth. He left everything completely materially exhausted, went to the forest in order to cultivate pure devotion to Krishna, and there he was also attracted to deer and then fell down. So this time, uh, um, being learned, he did not. He was very very careful in his spiritual life because sometimes experience is the best teacher. Um, Lived a very saintly life and then left the body, and then the third birth after the third birth, when he left the body as a deer, he came as a son of a brahmana. So, son of a brahmana, um, his name was Jad Bharat. And as Jad Bharat, he remembered that he was the king of the world, and he became attached to a deer, became a deer, and now he doesn't want to, and now he came as a brahmana. So he acted himself as if he's a fool. So whatever his father would say, he would do the opposite. And he was very careful so that people should not give him respect. Um, Naturally during those time, if you're born in Brahmana family, um, you would be respected. So, but he would act just opposite to the principle of Brahmana. He would go to fire sacrifice and create a mess there. He would not quote any Sanskrit verses, but he would appear like a dumb as if he doesn't know anything. Another principle of Brahmana is cleanliness. So his father would ask him, after you pass stool, you should wash your hand, and he would just pass stool and walk out, and he would not wash anything. So everybody were very disgusted with Jad Bharat. So he would do all these things because of his previous experiences, and he just want people to condemn him so that no pride will come in his heart, and he will perform his bhajan um, in his mind. To such an extent, even his father and brother would think Jad Bharat as a completely useless fellow, something like that. So his father passed away, and Jad Bharat, he kind of nobody liked him. So his brothers told Jad Bharat that anyways you are good for nothing. So why don't you go in the middle of the field and stand like this? Because if you see in India, um, inside the middle of the field they keep like a caricature, like a man made of grass, who stand like this. It's not a man, he's just a grass, so that crows will not come and eat the crops, and they will run away thinking that there is a man here. So their brother told Jad Bharat, why don't you go and stand like this? Anyways, you're no better than a crow, better than a dead man. So go and stand like this. So Jad Bharat was always very humble in a way that whatever people would say, he would do. So very carefree personality. Like today morning, we were discussing about the qualities of Gunatita. Gunatita means he is a transcendental personality. So for him, there is no likes and dislikes. He remains neutral in honor, dishonor, and blame and criticism, and he has no material forces working on him. No gunas, sattvagun, rajagun, tamogun doesn't act on him. um, so he just went and stand like this, and his brothers, they divided the property of the father among themselves, did not give him anything, and he didn't care because he had no attachments. And as he was standing like this, there were some Kali worshippers going on, and Kali worshippers saw that there is a man standing like this, and he seems to be a full man. So they were like aghoris. So they would take the person and put lot of oils on him and sacrifice his head to goddess Kali. So they took him and they took him into their camp of aghoras, which are like aborigine people, and they thought this is a nice offering to Kali. So they put lot of oils on him and they thought, well, let us cut off his head and offer it to goddess Kali. And Srimad Bhagavatam describes as they were preparing, and still Jad Bharat was completely kind of, because he was beyond the modes, he was not into anxiety, and he was like, okay, whatever Krishna wants, I will surrender to Krishna's will. So very unique personality, Jad Bharat. And he was getting nice oil massage and everything, and he's like, okay, whatever, I'll just surrender. Then as they were about, there was a deity of Kali, lot of fire around her, lot of mantras in, there are scriptures in mode of ignorance. So lot of tamoguna mantras were going on, and one of the leader was about to put his head on the changa and cut off his head. Right at that time, Kali, the goddess, she appeared, and with the Trishul, she started killing all these aghoras. And then, as she came in front of the leader of aghoras, she told the leader, um, because you have touched a devotee of Lord Hari, uh, whom who is worshipable for me, it's a great offense to me, and because of which you are being punished, and I will punish you by killing you and drinking all of your blood. So in this way, the leader was very much kind of afraid, and he begged forgiveness, and some of them were killed, and they finally released Jad Bharat, and Jad Bharat completely carefree just kept walking on. So Jad Bharat, because I mean nobody could understand the devotion that was hidden behind Jad Bharat, but externally he was always acting like a fool. So as he was walking by, he saw that somebody was coming on a palanquin. Now, somebody to sit on a palanquin is itself a great sign of pride. So somebody was coming on a palanquin, um, and there were four servants carrying him. So one of the servant, um, he got some pain in the foot, and he felt incompetent to carry the palanquin. So this is the forest, and they were in great anxiety. So these three workers, they saw that there is one person massaged with oil, looks like very well built man. So they called him and they said, hey, you fool, come, you are a servant of the king. The king is going to a holy place to meet a sage. So we have to carry the king. One of our friend is sick. So can you help carrying? All right. So Jar Bharat started carrying one side of the palanquin, and they started going. And the king was inside. But this Jhar Bharat was very careful as he was walking, because he saw many living entities, um, insects and ants. They were walking on the ground. So Jad Bharat, this is forest. So in forest, in this particular path, there were ants everywhere. So a devotee has equal vision. So he was seeing Krishna in the heart of the ant. So he was very careful um, while walking. Um, and sometimes he would take a long jump, sometimes he would take a short jump, and he was just acting in such a way. And the king was sometimes hitting his head here, sometimes hitting his head there, and the king became very angry. And the king asked the servant, stop it, and I must teach a hard lesson to this foolish fellow. What does he think of himself? And I am the king of the whole world, and everyone is supposed to be my servant. And how is he dealing with me? But king was also spiritual. I mean, this is another nature of material life. Is, during those generation, um, the king's son will become the king, and then his son would become the king, and then his son would become the king. So that was the generation. And um, Maharaj Yahovana doesn't know that whom he is carrying, he is his past generation, like a forefather, because he was the king before, and now Rahugana is the king. Um, that's how material nature works. So this particular verse comes from Shrimad Bhagavatam. O best of the Brahmanas, my body is filled with dirty things, and my vision has been bitten by the serpent of pride. Due to my material conceptions, I am diseased. Your nectarian instruction are the proper medicine for one suffering from such a fever, and they are cooling water for one scorched by the heat. So, what happened is, this is a verse spoken by the king. So, the king came down and the king chastised um, 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 Maharaj Rahugana. He came down and he chastised Jad Bharat. And Jad Bharat said, Jad Bharat usually would never speak. He would never speak. But when he saw a proper recipient for transcendental knowledge, he spoke. And he said, you are thinking that you are the king, and you are very wealthy, and you have a high birth, and everything else. But everything you have is very temporary. And I myself was the king 2 lives back. The goal of life is to worship Hari, because no matter what hats we wear in this material world, what bodies we are in, we all remain part and parcel of Krishna. And goal of life is to awaken the relationship with Krishna and develop and revive our spiritual identity. Um, and I was the king, and as a result of my karma, I ended up becoming a deer. So right now you may be thinking that you are a great king and everybody is your servant. Who knows your previous life? Based on your karma, who know who you will be? So right now you are respected. Tomorrow you may be condemned, like I am, like myself. So don't be so proud. And when King Rahugana heard these words coming from the mouth of Jad Bharat, who was a perfectly realized soul, um, the king understood. I am not dealing with somebody, I am dealing with a great spiritual master for the whole planet. And the king immediately um, um, got down from the palanquin, take a humble position, and paid his obeisances. And it is said, and then he requested the Brahmana, and this is the verse at that point of time when king became humble, and he said, "Oh best of Brahmanas, my body is filled with dirty things." So the king actually was very spiritually realized. That's why he was going to a sage, but there was still some contamination which was removed by the help of Jar Bharat. Um, so he said, "Oh, best of Brahmanas." Because he was a Brahmana was condemned, but he was actually the best of Brahmanas. Because the virtue of Brahmana is transcendental knowledge. So, oh, best of Brahmanas, my body is filled with dirty things. So it is here that the king himself took a humble position, because uh, Jarabharat did tell the king that, what is this body that you are proud of? You are so much proud of your body. What does it contain? It contains stool, it contains blood, it contain all filthy substance, everything that comes out from your body. See all the holes, how many holes we have: ears, eyes, nose, genitals, and see all the body. Everything that comes out from the body is filthy substance. The mouth is always stinking, and the gums are like that, and the breath is stinking. So this is the body that you are proud of. What is body made up of? And very beautiful instructions by um, 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 Jad Bharat to Maharaj Rahugana. So he said, "My body is," and the king accepted. The king, I mean, any sane man can realize. what the body is, and what am I proud of. um, so he said, my body is filled with dirty things, and my vision has been bitten by the serpent of pride. This is what pride does to us. This is called mic influence or maya. Bhaktivinoda Thakur uses the word mic influence, because of which one forgets one's real identity and identify himself or herself with the temporary. So he said, my vision has been bitten by the serpent of pride. Due to my material conceptions, I am deceased. Your nectarian instructions are the proper medicine for one suffering from such a fever. So how can, what is the fever? The fever of material conception, and the fever of being proud of many things. And here we see the king is telling Maharaja Ugana, how can this fever of pride go down? And he said the proper medicine is your nectarian instructions. When we hear from the sadhus, the real sadhus, when we hear from sadhus, um, then immediately we are centered to who we really are, and that the pride goes away. um, so that's why, um, if somebody asks me that, we'll discuss a lot more about pride. Somebody asked me like, I have fear of becoming proud, because many times when we do something and that something has influence, there is, or when we are able to contribute in a significant way anywhere, at work, in spiritual life, anywhere we are able to contribute, anywhere we are respected by what we are doing. So we, the mic influence makes us feel that actually I have an important role, and actually I am important. And this pride start coming, and then we start comparing with others. And then, um, if somebody is becoming better than us, then we become envious also. Envy is because of pride. Why we are envious of somebody else's skills? I mean, envy envy has many reasons. It can be because of lust, attachment. It can be because of pride. Envy that arises because of pride is when we think that we have certain skills or certain qualities, and then when we think that somebody else has those qualities, become envious of them. Like, if I am very intelligent, then when I see somebody more intelligent than me, I'll become envious. If I am very beautiful, then I see somebody more beautiful than me, I'll become very envious. Or whatever I am good at doing, when I see somebody, so when we are good at doing something, then pride comes. Nature of pride comes, and then we cannot tolerate anybody better than us. So these are like strong material forces. So King Rahugana is telling, I am deceased, my dear Brahmana. Your nectarian instructions are the proper medicine for one suffering from such a fever, and they are cooling waters for one scorched by the heat. Actually, when one is proud, and when um, pride leads to envy, and we will discuss about envy in our next seminar. The heart burns with envy, and we become very uncomfortable with the feeling of proud. So the nectarian instruction, so when somebody asks me, I have fear of becoming proud because of the services I am doing, I always tell them, hear continuously from your spiritual master. The spiritual master has to be heard. If we are not hearing, those who are not initiated hear from all spiritual masters. Those who are initiated or aspiring from my initiation, or at one point of time in future, if you have a spiritual master, one should hear his lectures, because the relationship with the spiritual master is developed through the Vani of the spiritual master. And if we are not receiving help from our spiritual master, then our relationship will not grow. So Vani is the basis. If we receive help from our spiritual master in our spiritual life, we'll develop gratitude. That's how you develop relationship. So give chance to your spiritual master to speak to you and to train you, and that way the relationship becomes deeper. Another example is story of Maharaj Yudhishthira and Duryodhana. So there is particular instance where both Maharaj Yudhishthira and Duryodhana were given a task. Many of you may have heard it. It's a very common story. Maharaj Yudhishthira was asked, go and find somebody who is better than you, and bring him or her to me. And Duryodhan was asked, go and find somebody. Um, Maharaj Yudhishthira was asked, sorry, Maharaj Yudhishthira was asked, go and find somebody who is inferior to you. And Duryodhan was asked, go and find somebody who was superior to you. So when Duryodhan went, he was looking at everybody and he would compare. He would see one person, no, I'm better than him. And then he looked at another person, I'm better than him also. And then third person, I'm better than him also. And then fourth person, I'm certainly better than him. And he looked everywhere, and then he came back empty handed, that there is nobody who is actually better than me. This is a diseased condition where this is ahankar. Actually, this comes because of ahankar. When we have lot of ahankar, then we are unable to see good in others. And when we see others, we just focus on one thing, which may be mic influence also, but one thing where I'm better than the other person. That also is coming out of ahankar. Just one thing. The other person may be 100 times better than me at 100 different places. That's all right. But at least I'm better than this person in this area. And one becomes proud that and conclude that I am better than that person. So likewise, Duryodhan went and he would compare everybody, and he would see their faults, and he would see his own, he would praise himself within himself. That is pride, that I am great. And then he would see fault in everybody else, and they are all useless people. And he came back that there is nobody who is better than me. I just cannot find it. And Maharaj Yudhishthir went, and Maharaj Yudhishthir saw this person, and he said, he is way better than me. And then Maharaj Yudhishthir saw another person, he is million times better than me. And then Maharaj Yudhishthir saw the third person, oh, he is incomparable. And Maharaj Yudhishthir saw the fourth person, oh, this is impossible for me to be like him. So Maharaj Yudhishthir, and then he went to the fifth person, oh, just can't compare. And Maharaj Yudhishthir came back, he also empty handed. So Maharaj Yudhishthir represents a devotee, and Duryodhana represents a proud man. So Maharaj Yudhishthir, when he was seeing others, he was seeing that he was seeing one quality that other is good at. When a devotee, whatever he is good at, he forgets that, and a devotee just remembers um, things that he is not good at. So when a devotee sees another person, he sees just the quality that the other person is good at, that he is not good at. So a person who is a nice cook, when he says, oh, he's a great cook, I cannot cook like him. And then he said, this person is much better than me. Now, whenever a devotee sees anybody, he sees a slight good quality in the other person, and he magnifies it. And he compares only that quality where he lacks of other within himself. And he thinks, well, I don't have that quality. He is much better than me. Um, so um, so the difference between a devotee and a proud man, or a materialistic person, um, a devotee sees, if he sees, he does not see any fault in others, and he see one small good quality, and he magnifies it, and he thinks this person is so better than me. And then a devotee within himself, he may have millions of good qualities, he doesn't see any good quality, and he just see one bad quality within himself, and he thinks, I am fallen. So when such a person sees anybody, even if he has no bad quality, he imagines some bad quality within himself. Although it's very pleasing to Krishna, he just he is just eager to see fault in himself, and he is eager to see good qualities in others. So Maharaj Yudhishthir came back, and they both came back empty, and they were asked, why didn't you, what happened? And Duryodhana said, I could not find anybody who is better than me. And Maharaj Yudhishthir said, I could not find anybody who is inferior to me. I am the most inferior. And Duryodhana said, I am the best. I am the most superior. So this is the difference in consciousness. And because a devotee has such a beautiful consciousness, um, um, he becomes very dear to everyone, because everybody likes, devotees. Everybody likes humble people, genuinely humble souls. Then this is pride due to one's wealth and beauty. So we saw how the high birth can be the cause of pride. Lot of wealth can be the cause of pride, like Maharaj Rahugana. High position in the society can be the cause of pride because he was the king. And here we see how beauty and again wealth, how they could be the source of pride. So many of you have heard this story of Nala Kuber and Manigriva. They were dancing without clothes, and they were very beautiful boys, and they were sons of Kuber, and they were dancing without clothes in the lake of Lord Shiva near Kailash. And they were very much proud of their beauty and their wealth also. Okay, because Kuber is, demigod of wealth. So Narad Muni came there behind this. This is a short picture, not the complete picture. So Narad Muni is standing behind, he came there, and he saw the ladies were without clothes, and he saw these boys were without clothes, and they were dancing in a very shameless manner. So Narad Muni became, he didn't um, um, he just came and he noticed that the ladies started covering themselves. So here we see these girls, heavenly girls, they started covering out of etiquette. I mean, when a saintly man come, you want to present yourself in a fully covered way. It's natural etiquette out of respect for the saintly man. So they started covering themselves, and these boys, they were like, we don't care about Narada or anybody. And they just came out without clothes and they started drinking wine. So they were like fully proud. And seeing the pride of these people, Narad Muni became very upset. And mm, and Narad Muni cursed them. And it is said the mercy of the sage Narada. So Narad Muni cursed them that um, the thing that makes one proud the most is one's wealth. The wealth has the most intoxicating effect on a conditioned soul. So he cursed them to become trees, and we know they became Yamala Arjuna trees in Vrindavan. And this is Narada's mercy. They witnessed the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna. They saw the beautiful face, bluish blackish form, with hairs flowing on his shoulders, and in his threefold bended form, playing a flute, performing many mischievous activities of stealing butter and playing with the calves and going for cow pasturing, and the sweetness of Krishna and the love of Rajvasis for Krishna. So they witnessed, and just by seeing that, hearing that, remembering that, they became purified. When these two, Nalakubir and Manigriva, when these two proud personalities, they were cursed by Narada, they begged forgiveness from Narada. And Narada said, well, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna will come and deliver both of you. So Narada, now that's it is also said that a sage harsh words is also mercy. Everything that a devotee does is a mercy, because a devotee does whatever he speaks, however he behaves, however he says, or even if the devotee criticizes, becomes angry, or curses, whatever a devotee does is mercy, because a devotee is doing that only for the sake of our welfare. The devotee does not want our wealth or doesn't want to exploit us. He doesn't want anything from us. What does a devotee want from us? He just want us to become pure and become happy, which is only possible in Krishna consciousness. As long as we are conditioned by this and we are pulled by these material forces, we will always be in so much anxiety and will keep struggling. And who knows the next birth and the next and the next, and a person cannot see the misery of old age, the misery of disease, and the misery of death. And what to speak about going through the naked reality of this material world, birth after birth. Um, the devotee heart pains, and he wants to help everyone. So sometimes he speaks harshly, sometimes he curses, and sometimes he glorifies. But everything a devotee does should be seen as a mercy. So Narad Muni was very angry and he cursed them, but that was the true mercy, because that was the true medicine required for the puffed up heart of Nalakuvira and Manigriva. So Krishna speaks. Srila Prabhupada quotes Srimad Bhagavatam in Krishna book. This is actually Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, directly translated by Srila Prabhupada. Um, it was already known to me. This is Krishna speaking. Prabhupada is quoting in Krishna book. It is already known to me that my great devotee Narad Muni has shown his causeless mercy by saving you from the abominable condition of pride due to possessing extraordinary beauty and opulence in the family of demigods. So when Krishna uprooted Yamala Arjuna trees, these two personalities came out, and they took a humble position in front of Krishna. And then Krishna told them, I'm aware of Narada's mercy on both of you. You are so proud, and for because of your beauty and because of all your opulence in the family of demigod, and he saved both of you from hellish conditions by his curse. He has saved you from gliding down into the lowest condition of hellish life. Now, as demigods, they may enjoy these, and then they will come back and they will perform more and more sinful activities, and they will glide down to the hellish life. So, uh, so pride can come. We see the prayers of Queen Kunti, where she says that wealth, one's beauty, one's high education. A person who is highly educated, very proud. Whenever he meets somebody, he says, "I am from um, IIT. I am from computer science master from MIT and from Stanford." So he has some pride that he likes to be recognized for his education. So high education also become the source. And then the high parentage, someone born in a very rich family, um, they become very arrogant, because everybody respect them, because nature of this material world is, if you're very wealthy, then everybody tries to serve you because they want something from you. In this material world, nobody loves anybody. That's a fact. Everybody show respect and other things. If they're not devotees, if they are not concerned about the spiritual self, everybody shows or try to make connection is based on, they I will be benefited by this relationship. Then there is pride due to fame and position. And this can also blind us. This another example of Indra. Here is Indra sitting, and Indra is king of heaven, um, and everybody is glorifying Indra, and the Gandharvas are singing for the pleasure of Indra, and the Apsaras are dancing for the pleasure of Indra, and the servants are serving Indra. So this is the Sabha, this is the court of Indra. Everybody is glorifying Indra. The Gandharvas, the sages, the Apsaras, and people are bowing down to Indra. So when Indra is seeing, because being the king, when he is seeing, everybody is surrendering unto me. I am the topmost. I am the best. Um, and I can control others' life, and they are all dependent on me. So that gives such a kick to Indra, a kick of ahankar, a kick of false ego. So right at that time, Indra's spiritual master, Brihaspati, comes there, and when he saw Brihaspati, he was thinking, "Oh, this is my spiritual master." The thought came that I should bow down to him. He is my spiritual master. But then Indra thought, how can I bow down to him? If I bow down to him, I mean, so many people are glorifying me. What will they think of me? These apsaras are dancing for me. For me, I am like the supreme most. These gandharvas are singing for me for my pleasure. They are bowing down to me. So in it's I mean, how can I pay respect to Brihaspati, my spiritual master? So Indra ignored the what I mean. Paramatma helps from within to give an inspiration. This is not the right thing to do. This is the right thing to do. Um, um, so he got that inspiration. This is the right thing to do. This is not the right thing to do. But he didn't follow. He didn't follow the Lord in his heart. So that became cause of lot of anxiety for Indra. Lot of anxiety for Indra. When Brihaspati saw and he saw Indra is too puffed up because of all the respect that he is receiving from everyone, and Brihaspati sensed his pride and he just left because Brihaspati was not happy. A spiritual master is not happy when he sees pride in the disciple. So sometimes the spiritual master punishes, but not the spiritual master does not have to say anything. He punishes just by becoming displeased. It is said that um, a great soul does not have to say or does not have to curse us. If a great soul is simply displeased, it creates a havoc in our spiritual life. So Brihaspati just disappeared, and Indra immediately realized his mistake. And Indra said, "Oh no, I was puffed up. I was I was thinking I'm so great, and everybody raised me to a high pedestal, and I didn't, and it just a Maya covering, and I did not offer the respect due to Brihaspati." And then he became anxious and he started searching for Brihaspati, and he could not find Brihaspati. And it is described that one who loses the mercy of spiritual master becomes weak. So Indra became weak materially and spiritually. He lost his spiritual strength and he lost his material strength also. That time Shukracharya, he told the demon spiritual master is Shukracharya, and demigod spiritual master is Brihaspati. So demons lies in Bhuvalok and the lower planets. So all the demons they worship Shukracharya. So by worshipping their spiritual master, they gain lot of strength. They became very powerful. And on this side, Indra displeased his spiritual master. So Indra lost his vital force, spiritual and material strength. So Shukracharya told his disciples, demigods have become very weak now. Let's attack. And there is a constant fight between demigods and demons came and they fought with devatas, and devatas became helpless, and devatas were getting killed and crushed, and the remaining devata they ran to Brahmalok and they left Indralok, and Indralok was taken over by demons. And Brahma told Indra that because you have displeased your spiritual master, you have to face this consequence. Another thing that comes here is, if a leader makes a mistake, then everybody connected to the leader also suffers. Like if a husband makes a mistake, then the whole family suffers. Or if a spiritual leader makes a mistake, then everybody connected to that spiritual personality also goes through um, um, intense anxiety. And here the king made a mistake and the whole praja suffered. So this is pride, that is, these are all, the external situation, circumstances that increase pride in us. But the matter of fact is, the pride is there within the heart. One devotee one devotee came to my spiritual master, um, uh, and she told my spiritual master that, Maharaj, I have been asked to become, um, um, the temple president of this temple, because for some reason the current temple president could not continue his service because he became busy with other things. So they are requesting me to take up the role of temple president, but I don't want to become temple president because, um, I will become very proud, and everybody will, respect me, and it may not be favorable. I may not maintain a humble demeanor, and it may not be favorable for my Krishna consciousness. So Maharaj said, well, um, pride is not dependent upon one's position. Pride is, within the heart. um, if there is pride in your heart, even if you are not temple president, even if you just make simple garlands in the background and nobody knows you, you will become proud of, my garlands are the best compared to, everybody else makes garland. That when I make the garland, they look so attractive on the Lord. So you can become proud of a service where there is no recognition, nobody knows who made the garlands. Like, we offer services to Radha Gopijana Vallabha, we dress, we offer them garland, but we don't know who made the garland. Sometimes garlands are really good, sometimes they're not good. We have absolutely no idea who made them. We are just happy seeing Radha Gopijana Vallabha smiling with those garlands on them. But one can become proud of that also. So Maharaj said, well, um, take up the service, the role that Guru and Krishna has provided you. Take up the role, and depend on Krishna, and pray to Guru and Krishna for strength to maintain your consciousness in those roles. So pride, although it is triggered by fame, position, wealth, beauty, high education, high birth, it's actually a contaminating force within our heart. And if we take shelter of Krishna and hear from sadhus, Bhagavad Gita and Shrimad Bhagavatam, perform devotional service, then these activities will curb the rising pride in our heart. Pride is actually a very difficult, emotion to deal with. My spiritual master says, I think Jesus Christ said that. He quotes him, but there is a great statement that pride comes before fall. So when, I'm speaking from a spiritual experience, when the pride comes within the heart, then I know that, okay, a fall down is going to happen tomorrow. Why? Pride has entered the heart. So pride is, many times, even if you don't want, the pride may enter. And but as we become more and more devotional service over a period of time, these emotions will become much and much weaker as the heart becomes more and more pure. And it's also about, anything new we take, anything new, um, and the pride comes. But if you just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it in a right consciousness, over a period of time it will become normal. So one should not fear pride, but continue serving Krishna in whatever capacity Krishna wants us to serve. And over a period of time, all these emotions will go away. Sometimes devotees, they want to spread Krishna consciousness, and when they start preaching, then pride enters their heart. And if they have some results, the pride enters their heart. Oh, I think I am a very nice devotee. And what is the recommendation? Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. um, and don't give up any seva. Whatever seva we are asked, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And over a period of time, all these emotions will go away. We become more and more trained, we become more and more purified. There is pride that may arise because of our Krishna consciousness, that I am very Krishna conscious. So that pride is also there. So we discussed about material pride because of fame, wealth, beauty, high birth, high education, position, like Indra, and we saw many examples. Now there is devotional pride because of one's Krishna consciousness, and Sukadev Goswami speaks about the gopis, the pride because of one's devotion. Um, and this is from Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada, from quoting Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada says, the gopis, however, soon began to feel very proud, thinking themselves to be the most fortunate women in the universe due to being favored by the company of Krishna. So Krishna came to Vamsivat in Vrindavan, he played his flute, and um, long story, but um, Krishna, um, these gopis they were sages from previous life, and they did lot of austerities to um, render service to Krishna in the form of uh, a loving relationship, just like a relationship between boy and a girl. So with that mood, they rendered lot of devotional service to Sri Krishna. It is said that for many lifetimes, from Treta Yuga, and there are many stories. Cannot go in detail of those leelas. So they had strong attraction, and they took birth in Vrindavan, and they were very young gopis, like 7 8 years old, and they would see every day Krishna going out for cow pasturing. And when Krishna would go, anybody who looks at Krishna, they would just faint because of Krishna's beauty. And when he walks, when he plays his flute, that's like a strong killer. When Krishna plays his flute, like nobody can take that joy. So Krishna is extremely beautiful, and when Krishna goes for cow pasturing, there are millions of cowherd boys that goes with him, the whole team, and they are playing the blow horns and different instruments, and they were while running they are dancing. Every step is a dance, and these gopis would see Krishna would go with the whole team going to Govardhan, milking the cows, playing with the calves, stealing the butter, and doing so many activities. So just by seeing him, and when Krishna would go, he would look at everybody. Everybody would come out when Krishna would leave for cow pasture. Everybody would come out, and Krishna would look at everybody, and Krishna would smile. And Krishna can do that. If there are millions of people also now, Krishna can look everybody at once, and everybody will feel Krishna looked exactly at me and smiled. So they were like aghast, like completely broken by when they saw Krishna smile. So they were deeply attracted to him, and nobody could talk to him because Krishna is the son of the king, Nanda Baba, uh, and he's always surrounded by millions of gopas. So in one particular instance, Krishna played the flute, and all the gopis came, and Krishna talked to them, and Krishna was with them. And this is the first time when Krishna was with them. And when they saw that Krishna is with us, they became very proud because Krishna expanded himself into millions of forms, and he was talking to all of them individually, all of them simultaneously, and everybody thought Krishna is only with us talking to us. So um, um, these gopis, they became very proud that Krishna has left all his devotees. He has millions of cowherd boys. Everybody is looking for Krishna association, and I have attained him, and Krishna is here with me now. So um, um, and they became very proud of their devotion to Krishna. They thought that Krishna loves me so much, and Krishna very is very attracted to my services, and that's why Krishna is with me and no one else. So this is called devotional pride. So this devotional pride comes when we feel Krishna's presence in our lives. Then we become proud. Like some reciprocation from Krishna can make us pride, or um, um, or especially when some if we are able to do some service very nicely and people appreciate us for the service, that can make us proud. So this is devotional pride, pride arising from devotional service. Or maybe we are chanting and we are able to absorb ourselves very much, and that absorption can make us proud. And sometimes if you're very absorbed in our chanting, the thought will come that now I am a very nice devotee. Now I think I'm making progress. I think I'm becoming pure. So that pride may come. So this is called pride because of one's devotion. This is the most dangerous pride for devotees. The other pride is more for materialist. Usually we will see in more detail as one takes up the path of devotional service, bhajana kriya. As one, the moment one starts chanting sincerely, reading sincerely, hearing sincerely, one does not have the pride because of one's beauty, because of wealth, because of education. um, those were are like very kind of beginning form of pride, very raw form of pride, they go away very easily. But then this pride which is arising from one's devotion and one's progress and one's reciprocation with Krishna's service or Krishna's names, or anything related to Krishna, this pride is the second half. This is more difficult to overcome. So here we are talking about the second pride. The gopis, however, soon began to feel very proud when Krishna was with them personally, simultaneously, thinking themselves to be the most fortunate women in the universe due to being favored by the company of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna could immediately understand their pride caused by their great fortune of enjoying him personally. They all thought Krishna is with us. They all were enjoying Krishna's um, association, um, uh, and that caused pride in them. And in order to show them his causeless mercy and to curb their false pride, he immediately disappeared from the scene, exhibiting his opulence of renunciation. Krishna does not want anything. Everything belongs to Krishna anyways. Krishna is Atmaram. He is self-satisfied within himself. So, and Krishna is full of the six opulences. Krishna is all beauty. There is nobody more beautiful than Krishna. Krishna is everything, all most wealthy. Everything belongs to Krishna, and Krishna is most renounced. So, although these gopis were looking for Krishna's association, Krishna is completely renounced, because these devotees they did lot of tapasya. Krishna was pleased with their devotional service, so Krishna appeared before them and Krishna reciprocated with them. But Krishna cannot tolerate the pride in the heart of devotee. So the moment he sensed the pride in in uh, in the heart of these gopis, Krishna just disappeared, and they became very anxious. And it's like, um, a mother lost lost her son. I have seen in one of the Rath Yatra 7 8 years back. A mother has a small daughter and she was not visible. So she was crying and wailing and looking here and there. All the devotees are looking for her daughter, and she was like, uh, the mood was very intense because like thousands of people. So all the fears start coming to her, and she was a small daughter. So just like when a mother loses the daughter or son, whatever, a child, likewise, or a cow loses her calf. Likewise, when these gopis lost Krishna's vision, they started crying and they started searching for him. And there is a very, very beautiful pastime in Shrimad Bhagavatam about what happened when Krishna disappeared. So sometimes people who don't know about Krishna, they criticize Krishna, that how can Krishna have relationship with so many gopis? But Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is just reciprocating with the devotees according to their mood. As devotees advance, they develop a certain mood, a certain desire of how they want to serve Krishna, in what relationship they want to serve Krishna. All relationships are possible. all relationships are possible. um, um, but Krishna is, he reciprocate with devotees, but he cannot tolerate pride. Krishna cannot tolerate pride at all. So the moment, if we are absorbed in Krishna's holy name, and if Krishna holy name start reciprocating with us, and then if we think, I think I am a great devotee, immediately Krishna leaves us in the form of holy name, and then it becomes so difficult to chant the holy name again. Or if we do some service to Krishna, like for example, if I dress Krishna and Krishna looks very beautiful, and everybody comes and tells me that Krishna is looking so beautiful today, and if I feel, yes, I think I have lot of devotion because of which Krishna is looking so beautiful today, the next time I dress Krishna, Krishna will look the opposite. Why? Because pride enter in my heart. If I cook something for Krishna and people comes and tell me, Prabhuji, you made such great offering, so many items with so much devotion, and the taste is like nectar. And if pride enter my heart and I feel, yeah, I think I really have lot of devotion that I cook for Krishna, the next time I cook for Krishna, I will make mistakes. Instead of salt, I may put sugar, I may forget adding anything, or even if I add anything, there will be no taste in that food. I mean, it won't taste that good. So the nature of pride is, the moment pride comes and from where it comes, that service is taken away from us. Not the service is not taken away, but the result of that service is taken away. And the next time, when we even try our best, we only get criticism. Are I did even much better than last time. You may cook 3 items and people may glorify you. Next time you cook 15 items. That, see, now I really want to show. But first time you actually cooked because Krishna is hungry, I want to feed him. But second time, because somebody told you that you cook so nicely for Krishna. Second time you are cooking, but your motivation while cooking is, they should further appreciate me. And they saw that I cook this much for Krishna. Now they would say, wow, you cook 15 items this time, how much devotion. So the pride is actually a lot of burden for a devotee's life. Lot of burden, because actually praises, glorification is a burden. Because when somebody glorifies us, then um, then we actually want to act in such a way that the person may glorify me even more. And then when we serve with the motive to be glorified further, the result is horrible. And this is Krishna's mercy. And then by that by that horrible result, we are humbled, and we are like, oh no, this is this is we become depressed that, I did such horrible service, everybody is criticizing me. Then Krishna helps us to understand that actually I became proud, and that's why this is happening. So there is a story, I mean, um, many of you may have heard. I will repeat it for my own purification, because it is very relevant. That one servant, um, um, okay, I don't remember the exact story, the exact words, but something like, one servant went to the king, and the king was sitting on a high pedestal with lot of stairs, and he was sitting there. And um, the king asked, he was a sadhu. So the king asked a sadhu that, can you explain this to me, how to get out of this situation. He was taking guidance from the sadhu. And sadhu told the king that, first you come down and then I will talk to you. I cannot talk to you, you're too far for me. First you come down, then I will talk to you. So the king came down, stepped all the way, and then he asked the sadhu, can you help me with this situation. And then the sadhu, he went up and he sat on the throne of the king with lot of, like, in a very opulent posture. And the king was sitting down, and he said, yes, now what you were speaking. So the king became very angry. Yeah, the question the king asked the sadhu is, what is the daily job of God? What does God do? What is the daily activities of God? I want to understand. I mean, I know what is my daily activities, what are daily activities of my servant, of these living entities, but what is the daily activities of God? So and the king asked very proudly also. So the sadhu said, come down, I will talk to you here. And then he went up, he sat on the throne of the king, and he said, this is the daily job of God. This is what God does daily, is he glorifies those who are humble, and he puts down those who are proud. So this is what happens. Any see, our service, our devotion becomes contaminated by this pride, and the result of becoming proud is miserable. And when we see the miserable results, then then we are humbled. We will be humbled by our own services. That's why the request is never to give up your seva. You do your seva. Krishna will purify you through your seva. Sometime you will have very good result, lot of glorification. Sometime you will be thoroughly criticized because of your seva. But we should see Krishna's mercy is coming back to me. This is Krishna's mercy. And then when we are humbled, then we kind of feel very depressed, and then we try to serve Krishna with full devotion, and then Krishna again reciprocates um, um, with the service becomes very successful. And then it happens for some time, again we tend to become proud, and then Krishna again give us some mercy in the form of a tight slap on our face, and then we are completely humbled, and we again um, take a humble position and render service, and Krishna again glorifies our service. So this is called the daily activities of God. And how long it goes on? Till we learn our lesson, that long it goes on. So that's why pride is the biggest danger. Tushar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question. So, how is the pride different from ego and false ego?
Okay, okay, thank you, Prabhu. Well, um, they are connected, Prabhu. Ego is like the father of all. Lust arise because of ego, pride arise because of ego, envy arise because of ego, anger arise because of ego, greed arise because of ego, and we get into illusion because of ego. So you can say that pride is a subset of ego. Does it answer, Prabhu? Tushar Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. But in Bhagavad Gita, for one of the shloka in purport, um, uh, it is mentioned that false ego is detrimental to our devotional service, but uh, ego or ahankar is good for us. There should be ahankar to progress in devotional service. So I'm little confused. That's why
Okay,
this
okay,
question.
thank you. So, Tushar Prabhu, there is false ego and there is true ego. Ego, Prabhupada explained, ego means identity, and true ego is true identity is I am spirit soul. Prabhupada says ahankar cannot be given up. So when we identify ourselves that I am servant of Krishna, it's an identification. I am servant of my Guru Maharaj. I want to do this service to please my Guru Maharaj. I want to do this service to bring a smile. I want to see a smile in the face of Srimati Radharani and a smile in the face of Shri Gopi Jana Vallabha. So when we are doing with this identification that I am their servant, this is the best consciousness. This is the consciousness we want to attain. Till we attain this consciousness, till the time we have not attained a purified consciousness of trying to do everything for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, um, we will do it, and we will have to deal with all these emotions, and Krishna will purify us through everything we do, and this continues going on and on and on and on and on. But because we are rendering devotional service simultaneously, the heart is becoming more and more purified. At one point of time we feel like I'm done with this. I mean, I'm playing with the same emotions for past so many years, and I'm done with this. Now I want to do everything for the pleasure of Radha Gopijana Vallabha and as a servant of my spiritual master. I want to cook so I can feed Krishna. I want to dress, and why I want to dress? I want to dress, and I want when everybody sees my service, they should condemn me, they should criticize me, they should send me to hell, they should be disgusted with my service. But simultaneously, I want Srimati Radharani and Gopijana Vallabha to be pleased. I want to be crushed in front of everyone, but I want internally them to be pleased. I want to sing to please Gopijana Vallabha because I am glorifying him and he is happy when I glorify him. And people should criticize me and condemn me and throw me and put me into a ditch, and that is very good. But I want to see a face in the I want to see a smile on the face of Gopijana Vallabha. At one point of time, these emotions start arising when we cross the stage of anartha nivriti. As these anarthas start to reduce in our heart, these emotions will start increasing. That I want, I don't want anything other than pleasing Krishna. I have for years I have been doing it for myself and I'm simply struggling. But I'm such a dumb and such a fool that I still continue doing for some flittery pleasure, for some flittery fame. I'm done with this now. Now I'm doing it for Krishna. Once you start doing it for Krishna, everything you do at all time will become very attractive because Krishna is all attractive. The word Krishna means all attractive. And when we start doing things for the pleasure of Krishna, we become all attractive also, and everything we do becomes all attractive also. So this is true ego, identifying ourselves as servant of Krishna. And what is the role of a servant? What is expected out of a servant? He should do things for the pleasure of the master. If servant does things independent and he tries to show himself or become proud or whatever, that's not a servant. Servant means to give pleasure to master. So that is real ego. Tushar Prabhu, is it okay?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you, Tushar Prabhu. Okay. Oh, I just saw the time. So maybe we will just stop with this verse. I will just read it again because, you know, this is most common for devotees. And then we will discuss more about pride arising because of one's devotion. And we will see more examples next week. I'll just read this again and we'll end with that. The gopis, however, soon became to feel very proud, thinking themselves to be the most fortunate women in the universe due to being favored by the company of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna could immediately understand their pride caused by their great fortune of enjoying him personally, and in order to show them his causeless mercy and curb their false pride, he immediately disappeared from the scene, exhibiting his opulence of renunciation. Imagine Krishna comes in front of you and Krishna give you darshan and Krishna didn't give darshan to anybody. Imagine um, Krishna appears in front of you, you are seeing Krishna, and everybody else is not able to see what you are able to see. Naturally, one may start feeling that I am a great soul. That's why Krishna appeared to me. That's why Krishna doesn't appear. Because we are not ready yet. We are not pure. Krishna tells, we saw in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna tells Narad Muni, those who are not pure at their heart, they cannot see me. They cannot see me. So we cannot see Krishna because the moment Krishna comes, we will cause simply a disturbance. it will not be beneficial for our spiritual life. Rather, um, a small glimpse Krishna gives through the holy name, through success in holy name, and that itself we cannot take. What is a question of the bliss that comes from seeing the personal form of Krishna, smelling the fragrance of Krishna, and the beautiful smile of Krishna? Just we cannot take that, and we will tell everybody, I saw Krishna, I saw Krishna. So simply causes a disturbance. So it is too difficult. My spiritual master says it is very easy to take failures, but it is very difficult to take success. Because when success comes, now pride will come. And then Krishna will show his full mercy onto us. So, and when failure comes, now it makes us humble. So it's very easy to deal with failures, but way more difficult to deal with success. But if success comes, we should know that this is also Krishna's mercy. That's why success came. This is Krishna's mercy. So Krishna is happy with us. So that's why he reciprocated in this way. Yet there is something I have to work on so that I can please Krishna all the time. The success in service will come only if Krishna is pleased with our consciousness. When consciousness is disturbed, Krishna will rectify it. And then we again want to please Krishna, and over a period of time, this consciousness comes that all these emotions are simply a disturbance. Now I just want to do everything for the pleasure of Krishna more and more. Okay, that's all I have. If there are any question, I can take now. Okay, okay. So we'll end here. Vanchakalpatarubhesha kripa sindhubhe evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद। थैंक यू वेरी मच। धन्यवाद। प्रणाम। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण। थैंक
Thanks.
यू। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। थैंक
Hare
यू।
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण।